Hello everyone, welcome to this YouTube channel. So in this video we are going to deal with regional and social variation. Our plan is we begin with an introduction, language variation, regional variation provided with examples, dialectology, dialect versus language provided with examples, social variation, social factors and their examples, regional dialect versus sociolect versus idiolect, and then a conclusion. People from different places all over the world speak differently, in which a language is a vital part of a human connection that allows us to share our ideas, thoughts, emotion, and feelings with others. It has the power to build a society but also tear them down. Every language will have more than one variety, especially in the way in which it is spoken. This variation in speech is an important and well-recognized aspect of our daily lives as language users in different regional and social communities. Simply, the term variation refers to regional, social, or contextual differences in the way that a particular language used. Language variation. It is the study of how language changes and varies time to time, place to place, class to class, and society to society in speakers' communities. This is what we call also a language. This is what we call a language variety. Regional variation. Regional variation is defined as a set of varieties of a language which is spoken in different geographical areas. Geography affects language both within a country and between countries, giving rise to dialectology or dialects and regional accents, which emerged around the world in different regions of a country. There can be some variations in the language used. These variations can be in pronunciations, the vocabulary, or even grammar, but it is very apparent that clear that the language is the same language. For example, in Algeria, the Arabic Darja spoken in Oran is different from the Arabic Darja spoken in Annaba. Dialectology. It is the scientific study of linguistic dialect. Dialectology studies the language in relation to dialects from a regional angle. It is also known as dialect geography. It ignores the social factors in language use and change. Dialectology is interested in historical development of language varieties, and it surveys mainly the comparison between the dialects and the standard code. Dialect versus language. Dialect come under the language's shade, whereas language are a broader term. Dialects have more concentrated geography, which means they are regional, but languages have a wide geographic reach. Meanwhile, dialects have a spoken form only. Languages have spoken and written form. Dialects are usually mutually intelligible, which means that people who speak different dialects will likely be able to understand most of what the other person is saying. But languages are not mutually intelligible, meaning that two people who speak different languages cannot understand one another. Examples of language and dialect. Language example, like Chinese, French, Indian, Italian, etc. Dialect example, there is American English, British English, Irish English, and Canadian English, and all of these are different. Social variation. In sociolinguistics, social dialect is variety of speech associated with a particular social class or occupational group within a society. It is also known as sociolect, group idiolect, and dialect. The use of language is affected by social dimensions or factors which are age, gender, ethnicity, social class, educational background, etc. Social factors. We begin with age. We find people with different ages speaking differently. For example, adults and olds. Gender. Differences in patterns of language use between men and women, such as quantity of speech. Both of them speak differently. Ethnicity. All people belong to a specific group based on national or cultural condition. For example, black and white people. Social class. The position of a speaker in society. It is measured by the level of education, parental background, etc. Educational background. The misunderstanding between educated and illiterate people. Regional dialect versus sociolect. Regional dialects, differences in use of language due to social class discrepancies, while differences in use of language due to geographical discrepancies. In regional dialects, there are social barriers, whereas in sociolect, there are geographical barriers. In regional dialects, distance is not considered as an important factor, whereas in sociolect, it is considered as an important factor. In regional dialect, it can be easily influenced by external factors, whereas the sociolect does not get easily influenced by external factors. Sociolect versus idiolect. Sociolect, it is a shared variety, whereas idiolect is a unique variety. Sociolect is influenced by social groups, but idiolect, it is based on the individual. Sociolect, it is influenced by social factors such as age, gender, ethnicity, etc. But idiolect, it is influenced by all aspects of an individual's environment. Sociolect, most of people make use of several sociolect, but in idiolect, most people make use of several idiolects. As a whole, the human beings have taken an intense interest in the languages they speak. Modern linguistics has gradually developed as an independent discipline. It captures unique conceptualizations of the word, thus the appropriate use is determined by the speech situation and speaker's elocution. Thank you for watching.